Why are you? Something has changed somewhere with the software. That ain't right.
Mine are supposed to be in sometime this weekend. One of the other nice things about OpenSCAD, it's open source, which that's an automatic win, but it's also cross OS. It's available for Windows, Mac, and Linux, and it was developed on Linux.
Hi there.
I'm waving and I'm not even in the camera.
Are you? I take it you guys are at the library.
We are, and we're still having. Did they update video for Linux recently or anything?
Not that I'm aware of, but
You're talking about a Zoom update, or?
No, this has to be something to do with this camera or video in general.
What happened to the snowball camera?
that's just a microphone.
It's a microphone.
No.
You're looking at that.
Well, I'm looking at a corner of the ceiling right now.
Yeah.
The box looks like it should be right down the middle of the table. But
Right down the middle of the table? Well, I'm looking at ceiling tiles.
looks like that.
Yeah, you're looking at ceiling tiles, and now you're spinning around in circles. That's what I'm saying. Something weird. Last week. Look at that.
Yeah, it was working last week.
Sorta, kinda. Oh, I didn't realize this cable had a power thing on it.
Hmm?
So I'm thinking
My cable.
your camera software is cropping.
Yeah, it's cropping bad.
Yeah.
You can plug a wall wart into that.
It says -2 right now. All right, look. Give me a second. Let me try.
What happens if you go into settings for the connect your camera?
It's got to be in OBS probably. So let's just go with the raw camera and see if that makes any kind of difference. And the video's turned off for some reason. Why is the video turned off? Because OBS still sees it. It's OBS.
Well, now I see the middle of the table.
It's OBS. OBS is causing
Yeah.
some issue. All right.
Hi.
Solve that problem. Sorta.
Well, the problem went away. I don't know that you solved it.
I'm curious though why you've still got to connect your camera up there. It should have.
Because Hudley is still very strange. It's still. It probably doesn't like this cable now again.
You're cutting in and out, by the way.
I'm sorry.
Well, don't be sorry. It's just I offer this information.
We are on You're on the snowball, so that should work.
That's the microphone.
That's the microphone.
I see the snowball dead center left to right, but about a quarter inch, well, about a quarter up from the bottom, right there. Yeah. Now, what's that got to do with the camera?
Nothing.
Oh,
If I, well, if I share my desktop,
okay.
you will see the Hudley. I'm moving the Hudley software around, which supposedly gives you zoom and all that kind of control for the camera
Okay.
when it decides to work.
Was it saying it went to 3.0?
Well, it's plugged into a USB 3.0. It's very picky about the cable too. That's why I flip the cable upside down. Because sometimes that's the problem. Anyway, that wasn't the problem, apparently. Apparently the problem is OBS. OBS is the problem. So many things. What's absolutely bizarre about that though is I've had OBS working with it. We've been able to do 2 cameras for a long time. And then last week I noticed that it was looking up at the ceiling, or we made it work. We got the software to actually work, and I could kind of zoom it around.
I could see from the way that the camera case was pointed down the table, it looked like he was the guy in Young Frankenstein wandering around.
Yeah. Ivor.
Marty
Feldman, yeah.
Marty Feldman was in the case and he was looking up at the ceiling.
Well, if you remember last week, on that little tripod, I pretty much had to point it down at the table to get it to. Yeah.
I have an excellent view of Barry.
Yeah, an excellent. Barry was super zoomed in. So.
Now, this is not anything against Barry, but I'm thinking you could probably find a subject that more people would be interested in.
we could see the pores on his skin. So that probably means that this tripod was fine, and it was the software that was the problem. And as much as that one works, that tripod's huge. I like carrying this little one around a little bit better. But it is what it is at this point. It's funny though, you guys were talking about OpenSCAD. I had Google program or make a program that I haven't tried yet. I tried it good enough to know that it did not compile and had it fix what didn't compile, but I haven't actually tried the program. So I don't know if it will work or not. On the robot,
Yeah.
it's not the robot, it doesn't even have the software for it loaded. But one of the things that I asked it while I was doing this was, I said, make me a mount for this sensor to mount to this kind of chassis. And it made a really good attempt. It ain't right. It made a really good. It knew all the hole spacings and everything else. It knew the hole spacings for mounting the sensor. Seems reasonable enough. We shot out OpenSCAD code.
Yeah, it's getting popular.
And just dropped the OpenSCAD, turned it into an STL and printed it. You can see I ended up using a couple of little L brackets to actually get it to work.
Because the holes weren't quite in the right spot.
They weren't quite in the right spot.
Easy to move.
Well, if you actually know what you're doing, then
Oh, I'm pretty good with SCAD. If you need that sort of thing drawn up, let me know.
okay. Well, pretty much this project for this was 100% generated by AI and
Yeah, I stand by my statement that if you're an expert in the subject matter, AI is great. Otherwise, AI sucks.
it was so close. It was so close. I actually appreciated the fact that, I mean, it had all the specs. It knew exactly where the holes
Yeah,
should be,
well, but it didn't.
but it didn't. No, they're
close.
the
but no
mounting
cigar.
holes are significantly.
Interesting that there's two different size holes along the
Yeah.
perimeter. And I'm trying to figure out what the comb is for. There's insets underneath each hole that just make it thinner on one surface.
Hulu designed that chassis to be more or less universal,
Mm-hmm.
and it is more or less universal. But you really have to kind of find the right. They sell a screw kit, a
Mhm.
mounting kit for it, but you pretty much can mount whatever.
Yeah.
to it. That was part of my problem. I really didn't have the right screws either.
You've got a soup, alphabet soup of them.
Yeah, exactly. I have a box that's full of miscellaneous screws from various and sundry,
full of miscellaneous screws.
various and sundry robot projects, and I just kept digging through there until I found a few that worked. I just got something in my eye. And I'm doing the absolute wrong thing to get that out of my eye. You want to open SCAD project that I think's beyond me. I printed that 6 years ago out of PLA. I noticed last week that it had started to bulge. That is the bezel. There used to be a light in the mirror for the Crown Vic. That the bezel broke. I'm not real sure how it broke or why it broke. But I figured if I print that in either ABS or
PETG.
yeah, it might last longer. I was actually kind of impressed that PLA lasted as long as it did.
Is it where sun can get to it?
With that around it, but I mean, it is exposed to everything.
I made a phone mount. Set it on the dash in black PLA. It made it 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can copy this.
So
Was that a set of mics I saw that you had in your box there?
yeah, they're too small.
What is it?
Micrometer.
Oh,
No. I call it a digital caliper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a micrometer is the thing that looks like a C clamp. Ah, that's cute.
Yeah, it's tiny. It's way too small. It looks to me like it's about twice the size of that thing.
An 80mm caliper. That's
So, my thinking, though, is if I'm going to print this, just make like a bottom for it so that it's all. As far as I'm concerned, or as far as I care, the whole thing could be solid. But it kind of needs to cover the wires. It doesn't do any good just to have that piece exposing the wires.
so it helps that it's symmetric. That makes things easier. Are there any parts of this that are unimportant, like the 6 little tabs or the 6 little notches?
I think those probably held the light in.
So the lens sticks out here, and why did you have the cover behind it?
Well, if you look, I took it off the car to bring it in here, but if you look, there's a big hole where the wires come out. So the lens, the light actually sticks out right about yay far, but it's probably about that deep.
Okay.
And there's a big heat sink on it that dissipates the heat that actually sits inside the mirror. So there's a big hole. So to cover that hole, I just printed that and stuck that back on there, and that worked well enough, good enough for years, until it didn't. And until I noticed that, of course, it's off. I mean, so that is why, I mean, if you look at the car, it makes perfect sense.
Got another little crack on the other side.
Yeah, I'm not real sure why that one cracked. The other one did, but if I can get a good model that works, I will print 2 of them and just replace both sides.
I currently have blue PETG in the printer. If you want it in blue.
When I bought that one 3D printer from that auction, 90% of the material, the filament that came with it, was PETG. So I got a crap ton of it.
I'm liking that stuff less and less the more I use it. Oh. It does not work well on my little ender. It's just it's too hot and sticks too hard.
It didn't work well on that.
Yeah.
But I printed a cup holder for padding. So there's a mount, a old laptop mount in the car, and she has complained for years that she doesn't have a cup holder. So I finally just found a cup holder that actually will work. It mounts to a pole. I think it's a bicycle mount.
Okay.
Well, amazingly enough, it is the same size as the laptop mount pole. So I just took and printed it in PETG because I don't want it to melt, and it took 8 hours.
Oh.
You know, of course, the settings I use, it does go slower. I do have it going slower. But there's a, it's a pipe, basically. There's no cap on the end of it. So I figured if I'm going to do it, I might as well cap it off too.
Mhm.
So I tried that. That prints perfectly fine with PLA.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine. Does not print well with.
Oh, I almost brought one of my prints. What happens when you forget to say PETG when your slicer is set up for PLA? It is just all warped and it didn't stick to the bed at all.
Yeah.
There's a literal puddle of PETG on top of it after 2 hours. I hear go in. It's just dragging this part around. It was up inside by the fan. Just all messed up.
Well, I printed, about the same time that I printed it, I printed a sunscreen from one of the radios that's in the car, so you could see it during the day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't really think too much about it and printed it in, PLA. It lasted for 6 months, and then I went out in the car after the car had set for a week, maybe. I went out, and it was just nothing but a puddle of goo, and I'm like, oh, that's not the right thing to print it with. But at the time, I had an old printer, and I didn't want to reprint the stupid thing. So, that is. I can get you all the PETG that you possibly would want to use.
Nope, I've got that.
Well, basically, if you design it, I can print it. That's not a big deal.
Oh, I can. I just like PETG.
I'm just horrible at designing stuff. Right?
Wow. And if I can share my screen, I'll do a quick demo on OpenSCAD.
Okay. Should be able to, maybe share your screen.
Sorry, she broke the TV.
Wants to share his screen. You should be able to.
Now I'm just trying to move stuff out of the way. So this is the thing that I sent to Ray to ask him if he could print. And OpenSCAD does 2D or 3D. This particular thing is a 2D drawing. Oops, that wasn't supposed to happen. Sorry. I was trying to figure out why it didn't have stuff in the upper corner. So this side over here is the commands to draw this thing, and this little window down here tells you what it's doing. You define things, like here I'm drawing a hull around 4 circles to give me the outside shape of this plate. These circles are in the corners to give it nice smooth outer corners. I could have done things a little differently. This was just a quick draw it for the heck of it thing. And so these numbers are the actual dimensions of the plate. I could have put those in variables and then used X and Y and stuff like that. But if it was smaller, I'd just have to change these numbers to get that. And like, obviously this big hole in the middle is for a fan, and it's currently a 140 millimeter fan, I think. Yeah, which actually has a 130 millimeter diameter fan itself. But if you need to change the size of the thing, if I wanted it to be a 120, you change that, you press F5 to redraw. That was F6, sorry. It made it smaller. We'll go back to the yellow. It's got 4 holes around the edges that are in a square 125 by 125 millimeter. If you change that to 120, oops, I'm actually looking at stuff. Press F5, it redraws it, moves the holes in closer. The math for doing the 4 holes is this down here. It's just, I did minus X and Y minus X and X, or Y and minus Y, and then translate those positions. I'm passing arguments, the 120 by 125, as variables for this little module. It's a module I wrote, and I use it a lot for a lot of stuff. But up here, if the holes needed to be bigger, change that to make them 10 millimeters, and now they're 10 millimeter holes. It's really quick and easy and simple to design things. If you think like a programmer, if you're an architect, I have spent hours trying to get guys at work. I mean, Siemens makes very high-end drafting software. It's called NX, and it's $40,000 per seat per year. Ain't cheap stuff. Ford uses it. Chevy uses it. We have guys that are experts with this, and I try to show them this, and they just cannot wrap their heads around it. And I cannot wrap my head around NX.
It melts their brain.
Yeah. But, I mean, this is a relatively complex shape. And that's about 20 minutes of my time. And then I went back and I neatened up things. But that's the entire script for that plate. And you can, like, if I had this plate and I wanted to include it in another model, you can include another model and then say draw it at this height, at this angle, and all sorts of stuff.
How good is it at, like, if you've got an STL file, can you import that, and will it?
I don't know. Never tried.
Reverse engineering.
Well,
here,
kinda, yeah.
if you look at the buttons up top, it's got do a quick draw, preview, do a render, or export as an STL. Nope, hasn't been rendered yet. So we render it, ta-da, export it, and
It's not a 3D object.
yeah, okay.
You know, what I'm reminded of here is there was a program about engineers with Boeing, and they were a team that was working on the door mechanism. And they'd spent like 6 months, and they had the door ready to go, all the mechanism. And then the design changed, and they said, okay, we need the door to be this much wider, this much shorter, and curved like this. So they went back in and spent like a month making these changes. And then he said, oh no, we need the door to be this way. And by that time, they had come up with a program like this to design the door. And they had it within 5 minutes. And they did not have to ever do anything more other than change parameters.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see how this would have powerful applications for
Oh, yeah.
manufacturing.
Yeah, it does. I've got one here.
This is something that I want to learn how to do. I just need to sit down and do it.
Yeah, it isn't difficult. So everything with SRJ in front of it, I designed, and then there's stuff that I didn't. Here's a good one. So
I don't see what you've seen apparently.
I
Now
just
now
opened
see
another
it.
model.
Yeah, your open dialogue didn't pop up.
So this is what I mount little tiny servers in a very tiny rack, 10-inch 9U, and you can rotate things and go inside of things. It has a little tiny lip on the front so that the servers don't come out the front.
I see what. Yep, I see what it does. Nice.
The hexagons being cut out are 4 lines of code. So there's no facility for drawing a hexagon. There is a facility for how complex do you want to draw circles. So you draw a circle with a complexity of 6 and you get a hexagon.
Yeah, number of sides on the circle.
Yep. And it's kind of cool. It just works. Things that are kind of odd about it. Oops. These holes in the ears don't show up right. When you hit F6 and actually render it, and it takes a while. OpenSCAD is slow for doing renderings. You don't do them frequently.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you polish the project.
Yeah. I mean, it's still chugging along, and this isn't a wimpy laptop. But
Oh, now you see the
now
hole.
you see the holes. And the reason for that is because the thing that cuts out the holes cuts out, or in this case oblongs, cuts them out at the same thickness as the front panel. So mathematically, there is something there. And
That makes sense.
until it actually does the render, it doesn't, when it actually does the render, it goes, oh, we can't print 0 thickness plastic. But we can show it to you. But yeah, it's fun toys. Gives you the advantage of actually putting in lots of comments on your code and how things work. It's nice.
I can see how it would have an application. I'm not certain that I need that application.
And again, when you need to make changes, it's pretty simple to do. If we want to change this from a 1U to a 2U rack, or 2U cover, put in that, but now it's 2U. And you can actually put in the height of the device that's in there.
Each individual.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the holes disappear.
Yeah. Preview. If
Yeah.
you do 2 renders in a row, the second one is nearly instant. But I moved it, so it's got to rethink everything. And you can turn off things like perspective so that it, from my perspective, looks just weird. It's got these little quick buttons down here for what direction you're looking at the device from. But fun toys. Works very well for what it does. This is a little bit longer of a script.
That little thing that Google made for me.
Mm-hmm.
I really had not played with OpenSCAD. I was aware of it, I knew about it. I had seen a few of the scripts or the programs for it, but I really hadn't played with it. And it was relatively easy. I mean, I dropped the code in, and then I went, oh, there's a render button. I bet I have to click on this render button. Yeah. Oh, there's an STL button. I wonder if that exports this thing to STL. Yeah, sure does. So, probably again, since we're programmers, it made sense to click on some of that stuff. But I found it to be quite intuitive about which button to actually click on. Not so intuitive to look at the code, because I don't really know the code, but I mean,
It helps to just start changing things and see what happens.
Well, yeah, I can see, like, you know, there's things that say radius and circle. I understand what a radius and a circle is. There's probably a line in there somewhere, right? Or a line segment.
This is a thing that I downloaded. It's a case for a Raspberry Pi 3.
Okay.
There are lots of sites that have OpenSCAD models, and you can put clear filament in these holes, and it's over the lights on the Pi. I've got 4 or 5 projects in these things. The Pi 3 is the one with HDMI, so, and I made some changes to this, but not much. It works fine. Oh well. So the ones I actually have number 6 wood screws through the bottom holding the 2 case halves together. This just snaps together. So that isn't what I'm using actually. I did a demo of this for the Linux meeting, and I'm not finding it, but it's based on this. If you go to Aldi, oh yeah, it is this. If you go to Aldi's and you need a quarter, you can print one.
To get the card.
Yep. And that'll stay on your keychain. And I probably got one this time. Oh yeah, there we go.
He's like, I ain't sticking a quarter in there. Even
Well,
though you get it back.
Even though I get it back, but I don't carry quarters with me.
It's true.
I haven't carried change in a long time. I don't like the noise it makes.
Well, if you have a pocket full of nickels, the only thing it does is pull your pants off.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I hate nickels.
That,
Nickels are the worst coin ever invented.
The value to weight ratio.
So,
it looks like a large guitar pick.
yeah. And this is actually this one. It's supposed to have a little shopping cart
Oh yeah,
on it,
there's a little shopping cart on it.
but apparently I didn't have that. This is the one that I did for the meeting, and it was literally like 4 lines of code. It's a
Steve's-
hole around 2 circles. Oh, here,
Steve's sharing his thing. I can't really show it to you, Art.
there.
It's okay. Ah, yes.
And you can't see the shopping cart. Well, almost.
Sort of.
Almost see the shopping cart.
And there's a blue one too, but the blue one is a slightly different design.
Slightly. The blue one looks more like a large guitar pick.
And I made this one a long time ago. And then,
He's like, I ain't putting no quarter in that thing.
yeah, I don't mind putting a quarter in. And when I do, I tend to leave it there. But that too is why I don't tend to have quarters.
Yeah.
If I'm at Aldi's, I absolutely have my keys.
Apparently, Aldi's is. Apparently, they do stuff like have carts with quarters or whatever, some change kind of thing in Europe everywhere, and Aldi's is like the only one that has it here.
And I applaud them for doing it. My kids, when they were growing up, we used to go to Aldi's, and it was within walking distance. And my kids would go to Aldi's and ask if people wanted to have their carts taken up
Yeah.
for the quarter. And I mean, they'd get $4 between 3 kids running around in the parking lot for an hour. And so they'd go in and they'd buy soda or something. And they'd come home.
Yeah, we used to do that. Just, I'll take your cart back for you, man.
Yep.
And some of the older people would even just, here's a couple of dollars for you. Thanks for doing it. All I wanted was a quarter.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sonny. Here's a couple of dollars. Used to make. I wouldn't say it was decent, but for a 7 or 8 year old kid, it was pretty good. Right. I thought maybe Barry might be here today. I don't see Barry. 'Cause I've been busy this week. I've actually gotten stuff done. Did you not want to try to use those? They're too small.
I have a set of the $6 Harbor Freight ones that are plastic that only read to 1 decimal point
Yeah,
that have been amazing for doing what I do.
yeah.
I don't need.
You can't
Two.
read 1/8 of an inch with them though. Because
Yeah, you can.
the ones that go .125 and only do decimals, you can't, it won't do.
No, this one does 1/8.
Oh, and
It reads out fractions.
Okay, but they have one that is decimal inches only, but it doesn't have 2-digit accuracy.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
if you're trying to do 1/8 of an inch, you can't use it.
I've got one from Harbor Freight that I don't know what it was cheap. It was a plastic one. But it took me forever to just hone in where that extra little mark was on the stupid thing.
Or you're talking about a veneer?
Yeah.
Oh,
Caliper. And part of it was my own stupidity. I kept reading it, instead of reading it as 10 millimeter, I kept reading it as 1 millimeter. And I'm like, why is this so small? Why is it so small?
well, those are nice, but they only have a 64th of an inch accuracy. So if you're doing anything,
But as long as it's close enough. As long as it sort of looks like this.
If you can make it with a hatchet, those are perfect.
I mean, the biggest, I could make a square and even probably round it out, but when I rounded it out in Tinkercad, it turned it into more of a oval instead of a flat square with bezel edges. And
That's
the biggest,
a pretty damn complicated shape.
the biggest thing is where the screw holes are. I mean, you know, the screw holes are probably the most important part of that.
Well, in some instances, it's easier to make the part than it is to make the drawing for the part.
Yeah, I would say that given the fact that there were millions of cruisers that used those lights, they probably just had thousands of molds and just plastic molded them. Oh, look, this one's a little off. Throw it in the reject file.
Well, you know that machine that I bought from your niece, I have been making a table with a cutout for the machine to slide in, and it's a sculpted machine. So you can't just draw it and say, okay, it's this wide at the back.
Right.
You've got to take a piece of cardboard, trace around it, cut it out with the scissors. And in that instance, I don't know what it would take to make a drawing of it. I don't think I'm capable of making a drawing for a sculpted piece.
Somebody probably was at one point, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, they had a clay model, they sculpted it, and says, oh, beautiful artist.
Yeah.
Yep. And then they cast
But
it.
somebody made something and then they cast it and
Yeah.
made thousands of them.
You know, a toolmaker took whatever the sculptor made and turned it into a mold.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're going in the opposite direction. We're taking what they've made and turning it back into a.
Yeah.
We're turning it into a model, which it probably was like you said, probably clay or some other kind of material.
The model makers or the mold makers, that's a skill all unto itself.
Yeah. Yeah. But I tried that in Tinkercad. I tried to get that to work, and I'm just horrible. Tinkercad's really not great unless you want basic shapes,
No,
basic stuff.
this is not the same, but it's parallel. The girl gets a very private tattoo of a blue bird, and after 40 years and several children, she goes into the doctor and said, when did you get the tattoo of the pterodactyl? If I were designing that, it would be a pterodactyl.
I didn't take it off the car when I was doing this last night. Maybe it was this morning. The days all blend together, you know. I took this original model that I had and kind of tried to extend it out, and then I cut a hole in it, and by the time it was done, this bezel was about 4 inches thick, and I was like, that's not right. And the screw holes, well, I think they probably would work because they were in the same spot as that, were inverted. They were on this side instead of on this side.
Now, you guys may do this already, but in SketchUp, you're allowed to bring in a photograph.
Oh, really? See,
I would take
That's what I would.
several pictures of that, bring it in and put the photograph in a particular plane, and then go back and draw around it with the SketchUp tools, so that I'm not.
You mean a photograph like that without Patty's? without
No, I mean,
without Patty?
I mean a photograph that looks. You're shooting straight down.
Straight down. I took several.
Okay.
None of them I took straight down.
No.
Well, that was close.
Well, again, you're going to be converting this to a three-dimensional drawing.
Right.
So you need
Yeah.
each of those,
Right.
and then you can bring them in to import them into SketchUp.
Yeah, I was thinking there had to be a way to do that.
Yeah. The part, again, I'm familiar with SketchUp. It's neat if you're doing a room and you want to see what it's going to be.
Yeah.
You can take a picture of the window in your house, bring it into SketchUp, and put it in place in the window so that when you look at it, you get that. So in SketchUp, I probably would not make those surfaces curved.
Like a tapered kind
No.
of deal. Yeah.
I'd lay an edge on that. But you could make it the same as your photograph. Basically, you're cheating.
Yeah. I wish that like. See, it's an oval, but it's not an oval. It's a taper.
Yeah.
That's called a capsule,
A
for
capsule.
what it's worth.
Okay.
Yeah, an oval is a very specific mathematical thing.
And then you have oblongs, and this is neither, because the ends of it, the sides are parallel, and the ends are not only rounded on the corners, but they all.
Well, and if you look, at least when I pulled the lights, I wish I would have kept the lights. I got rid of the lights. But the lights are kind of square.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting shape. And it fits perfect on the mirror. You hardly realize that it's there.
What sort of lights was this thing driving that needed heat sinks and stuff?
Oh, police lights. They
The
all have.
red and blue?
Yeah, they all have heat sinks on them.
What mirror?
Well, that one came off the passenger side.
Okay. I was thinking inside, and I was trying to picture a super bright dome light.
No.
Okay.
No. No, these are the red and blue, the wig wags on the outside of the car. That explains this as well, because it's on the outside of the car.
Okay. I was with Steve. I'm
You-
thinking
You
dome
were
light.
thinking mirror. No, mirror. Sorry.
Now you flip down the visor and there's a mirror and then there's a light there.
Actually, if you look at some of those flip down ones, they even have heat sinks. They're in a different spot, but they have heat sinks. Because those red and blue lights, they get bloody hot.
Well, yet, if you on a police cruiser, I'm sure they're not using a 0.3 watt.
No, they're driving. In the trunk of that car is the driver for the lights. It was huge. It's got, I think, a 40 amp fuse on it. And the overheads, I think it was a 70 amp fuse for the overhead. It was a huge. It was all LED too, and I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, you change that out with a 1/4-inch wrench.
Yeah, well, the thing with the leading the power up to it, that was pretty much a 1/4 inch.
You don't, I meant the fuse, you just.
Oh, yeah. The wire going up to it was yay thick. And I didn't realize that it was still alive when he cut it and went.
Under load.
Well, I didn't know it was live. Why would I think that they left it live?
Well,
Because
not
I
only-
should have assumed that it was alive.
Not only live, it was under load at the start.
The way the way the police lights work, they're really interesting. So they get power, which is one 12-volt signal, usually high current, and then they get another 12-volt that actually tells them to activate.
It's on a control circuit.
Right. So the second 12-volt, depending upon which wire it comes in on, tells it which pattern to do. So there's, 12, 13, 14 wires going up to it. 2 of them are actual power, and most of them are just control. Do this pattern, do this pattern, do this pattern. One of them will go up and tell it to turn off. So there's a 12-volt line going up to it that says, do nothing. So they're all the control lines aren't alive until you activate them with the thing, but the power is always going to it. There's always a power.
Yeah.
And I found out that the lights that were in, I should have kept the stupid things. I got rid of them, but the lights that were in it, in the mirror, they had, I think, 3 control lines. They had 3 different patterns to them. But only one control line was hooked up, so it would only do the strobe or whatever. So, depending upon what the department's going to do, they could hook up different control lines. They don't all have to be activated or usable. And there's a little box that's in the dash or in the console that's probably got, well, it depends on the box. It's usually a switch that's got A through F maybe, and then there's like 4 buttons. And the selector knob will designate what your siren is going to sound like and what the pattern is connected to the buttons to activate the lights.
Well, I never even anticipated that there would be a variable device.
Well, because you could conceivably hook up all 20 control lines, or what, especially to the overheads, and have multiple patterns for stuff. Which I don't know if you've seen them, but some of the cruisers, especially the modern cruisers, like they will have an extra light on both ends that look like arrows, and they can direct. And then one of the patterns would be to light this arrow up, so it's pointing you to this arrow.
Direction.
But that's all done. I mean, that's all done with like 12-volt logic. It's all just you hit it with 12 volts and it activates, and then you hit another line with 12 volts and it changes the pattern. It's really, really cool. It's probably been like that. I mean,
I just was sitting here thinking, if I don't know anything about law enforcement protocols or patterns or anything like that, but if you were a sheriff versus a city policeman, they may have different tempos or patterns, so that they could identify what vehicles are on the scene without ever getting close enough to read them.
so from my understanding, that is actually done with the color of the lights. If you see, well, generally with the color of the lights. So if you see like white amber, that's like street department usually. And if you see green amber, that's usually the state doing road work or whatever. Sometimes you'll see green white amber, and that's still the state. Like blue is state highway patrol. And if you see local cops with blue, that means they're certified to go pretty much anywhere in the state. So if you see local cops that have blue and red, that means they are limited to a certain jurisdiction, certain area. It's kind of interesting. As far as I know, there's no actual pattern to their light that would make you. But the colors kind of mean something. Dun dun dun. Alright, let's see if this actually works. So, let's see what am I doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Hey Art, I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, join the world.
Last week, Barry was talking about keyboards, multiple keyboards. Nope, that's not it. I'll just show this, I think. And I had said something about using using an ESP32 with different S3 with a Bluetooth or just as a keyboard and having it do different things. So this is the M5 dial. It's got an encoder around the outside. It's got a touch screen and it's got a button. So I took my old project that was using the M5 Atom S3 that was specifically written for that Panasonic laptop that doesn't have a keyboard, that just had whatever, and I could use the Atom to activate various apps easily using the keyboard macro thingamabobs.
Yeah.
So this doesn't actually activate anything on this laptop,
But it looks good.
but it looks good. So there's so I modified it so we could turn the encoder and it will advance to the next app, or we could turn it backwards and it will decrease to the previous app. And then so that's supposed to be for the journal app, external, and if we hit the screen, you should see it pop up down there that it's sending stuff. It's sending code 44. So if I went in there and I programmed code 44 to do something, it should be able to do it. And this is the calculator, which I would have thought should have popped up the calculator app, because I don't remember having to tell it not to do that, but you can see it's
Easy to set that up.
I don't remember setting that one up, but it's code 46 for the and the share app, which seems pointless, and the no touch screen app, and the open Google Mail app, which all was stuff that and
How does
open
that one work?
um
Or do you have an app specifically for Google Mail?
no. In the the keyboard thing, the keyboard setup thing.
Yeah.
Um,
That's,
come on. The shortcuts. I went to custom shortcuts and I added something, and I think I
Startup
just,
Chromium pointed to.
yeah, I think I just went browser or something, blah blah blah,
Yeah.
https gmail.com. So it every single time you'd hit that button, it would open a browser and go to Gmail, even if it was already open, which
You
was
can-
not exactly what I wanted.
You can tell it to do it in an existing browser if it exists.
Yeah, I'm sure if I tweaked it, it would have worked better, but that's what I had done.
And it's just browse.
It's Brave dash browser something, because I use Brave.
Well, if you use browse, it'll use whatever is your default.
Default. Oh, okay. That's good to know too. But that's how I set that up. All those wackiness, and like that's to turn on the finger touch,
Mm-hmm.
because it has a finger touch, and that was just triggering a shell script to turn it on.
So is that a touch screen or a physical button?
This is a touch screen. So you can actually see that the icons are the wrong size, because they were designed for the Atom, which has a smaller screen. And they're in a funky position, because I sit there and like move. No, it's still not right. They're just it's the screen size. The screen size is just wackadoodle. So that was about as close as I could get to where I thought it should be, without re-encoding all the pictures. That was done at 2 o'clock this morning. So, no AI involved. This was just pure mental power of sleep-deprived Leroy at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Over-caffeinated brain.
Over-caffeinated brain. Now, Art didn't get to see the screen, and we will try to show Art the screen. That's the journal app.
Okay.
That is the calculator app, sharing app. That's the printer if I wanted to print something. That is to turn off the finger touch. That's the Gmail. And that's to turn on the finger touch. And there's cheese for the camera. And back to the journal app. And I could go backwards. If I wanted to go backwards, I could go the other direction on the encoder. So I actually like this better because, well, one, it sits in this nice case that can sit right next to your desk. But the Atom only has one button. So to change your apps, you actually had to hold the screen and it would change. And then you had to go back and touch it to actually activate the app, which works fine. There's nothing wrong with that. So it just seems so much nicer just to be able to spin a little dial. That's just me thinking that it might be a little nicer to do that. So there's that. But you gotta love the. There's no AI involved. And this cable is really nice. M5 made this cable. They actually have been using these cables. This is a magnetic cable. And they had been using these cables. You could see them in their videos for like years. And they finally decided to go ahead and brand them and sell them.
Nice.
And
Yeah, I'm kind of a fan of those things.
well, particularly with that,
You have to get in there.
where the,
Yeah.
I mean, jeez, just shove this in there and it just connects to it.
I would like to have all of the USB connections on the back of my computer like that. Because I'm leaning over as far as I can go, got my head against the wall, my arms extended, and it's like, I can't feel it, I can't touch it. Am I 180 degrees out on a long road?
It's upside down. No. Nah, that case with the way it's pointing down at the bottom, and then you've got 90 degrees. This cable's just so nice. It's just. And then I found out where they actually got these cables from. And I bought a bunch of them cheaper than what M5 was selling them for, of course. And they came with more little extra magnet clippies than what M5 gave us. But I love these cables. These are great cables. Are we going to see if AI knows how to make a robot do something? I think we should try. Speaking of turning that upside down. So, currently, you might be able to see it kind of flashing. It's got a program on there that just flashes. It's actually a Knight Rider program that I wrote for a different thing that I just stuck on here. So it's a Knight Rider bar in green. Because I was going to stick Knight Rider lights in my phone, but never did. And the Knight Rider lights were going to be based on that particular microcontroller. So it made sense. But it didn't make sense. Come on, slow computer. Why are you being so slow? I double clicked on you. I promise. Aha! A decided door.
I was going to say it's spending 90% of its time trying to figure out how to hook up the camera.
You've got a camera hook, but I don't know what to do. No, we're checking for updates. Why are we checking for updates? We don't need no stinking updates.
Speaking of updates,
This is really slow.
I'm using the gaming computer that Vincente's son left with him and he gave me. And I had the suite of free software for Office. He said, oh, you need to do an update. I said, okay. And it downloads the update. Then it says, oh, this isn't compatible with your operating system. But it had contaminated the program before it decided to tell me that it's not compatible. So I can open a Word document, but when I look at it, all of the drop-down menus are blank. So I say, okay, I would like to go to the file. I can click on the file, and it pops a blank menu. I can go over to the next one, click on it, and it's gone. It's a matter of how do I go back to a previous version?
You don't?
No, I could not.
No.
Almost
Well-
like Microsoft wanted to just mess with you.
Welcome to Windows.
Microsoft. What was the suite that starts with an S?
Smart Suite?
No.
There's LibreOffice, there's
That's what it is.
Star Office.
Libre.
Okay. Open
And why
Office.
does it start with an S in my brain? I have no idea.
Oh, I
SNL, they're right next to each other.
Yeah.
kinda.
The neurons are right next to each other, but that doesn't mean I have access to any of them.
All right, I'm going to program this thing.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe it's going to do it. There it goes. It's executing the task. This is revision 2 of, because I did actually try to compile the original code that was written 100% by AI. This is also written 100% by AI. I haven't even really looked at the code. But the original used some funky library that I finally got it, Gemini, to admit was
Doesn't exist.
borked. No, it's a borked library. It doesn't work with Arduino. And I was like, then why did you put it in an Arduino sketch? And it's a, I'm so sorry, you're right. I should have just given you the Adafruit one in the first place. And I was like, yeah, I mean, frustrating is we ended up going in a loop because he would it would give me a
You had a warning come up there.
yeah the warning doesn't
Okay.
mean much, but it gave an error. Platform IO gave an error. I put that error in Gemini. Gemini said, "Oh yeah, you just need to do this to fix it." I said, "Okay," so I fixed it. It gave me another error. I copied the error. It gave me the original code back. So we ended up going in this loop, and it said, "You're right. I'm in a loop. I'm stuck." So what this is supposed to do, and I don't know if it will do it or not. This is a 8x8 thermal imaging camera.
Cool.
Yeah, in theory.
64 bits of
64 bits.
256?
I'm
Something
honest-
like that.
I'm honestly not sure. It's I2C, so it should be talking to the microcontroller over I2C, over the I2C bus. I don't think it is, but it should be. What this is supposed to end up doing is following a person, left or right,
Okay.
or straight. Yeah, that's pretty much what I figured was going to happen. Because I will even tell you why that happened. Because I know, I think I know why that happened. So if we open the serial monitor up, we're not getting any kind of debug info from it.
I apologize, but can I go back and ask a question as to why it didn't pause when it gave you a warning?
Oh, Platform IO doesn't. Yeah. If it's just a warning, it's you have to go back up and see what that warning was. It only gives you if it actually fails to compile completely, then it'll give you more information. But you still have to kind of go back and read why it failed. So, no, Platform IO is
A thing you can do, I don't know about if you can do it in VS Code or Platform IO, but in my terminal, words like error, failure, whatever, are shown in red, whether the thing spitting out the text does that or not.
it spits out your warnings and your failures are red. Your warnings are yellow.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean I use MOBA Xterm and have it set up to color code lots of stuff.
Yeah.
OK is green.
If it had actually failed, then we could roll back through the code. Roll back.
Yeah, I'm thinking, why present a warning to me that lasts a 60,000th of a second? I can see there's a
Well,
yellow
you can
flag.
go back and see what was on the screen. It's just one. So in Linux, text output is done the same way since all text output came out on a physical line printer.
Yeah.
It scrolls.
It's all there.
It's got stuff for you to see whether you want to page back or not. But it is exactly like a line printer. And it's beautiful.
If we go the warning that it gave was not even a good warning because there's no yellow highlights over here. So it's just, now if there's a failure, you'll see red highlights in the code. In the mini code bar, you'll see red highlights, and then you can highlight that section and go, and it will have like red underlines where the actual problem is with it, and then you've got to figure out why it failed. It's actually pretty friendly. It would be nice if you didn't have to scroll back, but that's the way it's. Even with Arduino, even with the Arduino IDE, unless you tell it, there's a setting that you can tell it to spit out all the errors at the end. You have to go back to see why it failed in that little console that's there. See, this little console block where it compiles is very much like the Arduino IDE where it does the exact same thing. Only it's different. it's the same but different.
You should be able to scroll back in that, shouldn't you?
Yeah, if I had actually, I don't know where it went. So no problems have been detected, and the output, I don't know where it went.
It cleared the output.
It cleared
Weird.
the output. If we just compile it again,
I have lots of people telling me I should be learning fancy editors, and I just don't want to expend that much energy. I use VI. Well, Vim now.
I
can change a variable name in 42 open files. That's what VS Code does. That's what everybody's like, oh, it's magic. No, it's not.
It's not magic.
It's dangerous, is what it is.
Well,
look here. I didn't see a yellow warning that time. It compiled cleanly with no yellow warning. So whatever that yellow warning was nothing.
It was transient.
Yeah, that happens with Platform IO every now and then. You'll get these weird yellow warning things. It's usually when you click compile before it's actually ready to compile the software.
Okay.
But it's going, it's close enough. So we can see here that the wire, which is the I2C bus, is set up for port or pin 25 and 21, which is correct for this to talk to the motor controller.
Okay. So you were telling the motor controller to look for colors?
Pretty much. This device is connected to pin 33 and 23, I believe, which would mean that we need to define a whole entire another wire setup for it to work. Which means that even after I complained that it gave me horrible code in the first place, it was still wrong, and after I fix it, I bet money it's still not going to work right. So I actually have
the working version.
well no, I literally did not, but I've got the pin set up for it. 33 and 23. So we can.
So you just copied that, you're going to paste that in here.
I'm going to attempt to fix the code. And even though I know what the problem is, I had AI write this too. So this project is 100% written by AI. I just realized what the problem was before AI realized it. compromise. So now we need to go and find. This is going to be on wire 2 now, not on wire, so we need to figure out.
Control F.
Somehow or another, we need to tell the Adafruit library to use wire 2. That I'm not sure about. May have to modify the library.
Would it be easier to just move the jumpers?
There it is. There it is. It's not. Oh. Did they even. It didn't even start the sensor. Wonderful. So the address of the sensor is somewhere in here. Alright. Or is it? I don't see the address of the sensor. It's 68, I believe. Oh, there it is, there it is, there it is. There it is. Okay, maybe it did. But we need to tell it to use wire 2. Let's see if that works. Let's see if that compiles. And we are compiling. Now, just like how he in OpenSK, yeah, of course not. Wire 2 was not declared in the scope. It should have been. I don't know how to fix that. Wire 2 is not declared in the scope. Because I am not smart and I didn't copy everything I needed to copy. But just like with OpenSCAD, where when you re-render, once it's compiled, once the code is compiled from just, this is like a test compile, and this is the send it to the microcontroller compile. But once it's compiled, it does it a whole lot faster the second time around, as long as there's no errors. I have a feeling this isn't going to work even after we mess with it. But if you're programming stuff with Arduino, try platform IO. It is.
I actually stopped using Arduino.
Okay.
I've got a shell script that I call from inside Vim.
The CLI.
Yeah.
Yeah. Compiled, no problem. Let's send it. Going to take it It's going to act like it's going to recompile it, but it really doesn't. It already knows it's compiled. It's just such a powerful platform that
Mm-hmm.
you can import Arduino sketches, and it'll complain because it says .ino, but they just sort of work.
Okay, warning installed.
Yeah, I saw that warning. I don't know what that warning was about.
I can read the first six words, and that's about all.
Something is squealy.
Yeah, that would be.
Oh, the motors. Okay.
The motors are way too slow. You know what? This might actually work.
I think it's going backwards though.
I don't know where it's going.
It's going.
It's going. Yeah, it's turning the.
I didn't want to go off the edge.
We need to bump the motor speed up. And that's fine. I won't fault the AI for not knowing that, because I really didn't tell it anything about the motors.
Didn't know which was left and right.
I don't know about that. We'd probably have to dig into this code a little bit more.
Well, that's just a swap down toward the bottom.
Base speed. Let's bump this up to 65. Let's see what happens. Yeah, it's
Are you comparing the left and right sides to see if one half of them is equal to the other? In which case it goes straight, or how are you making it turn?
yeah. So it's a 8x8 grid.
Yeah, I saw that. I read the code there. You have to left and right. I didn't see where you made a
So-
comparison.
Well, yeah, I didn't really either. But Gemini says that it's taking half of the sensor, the right side, and it's taking the left side, and that's exactly what it's doing. Is comparing the two sides, and if they're equal-ish, it'll go straight, and if it's more right, then it should try to go right, and if it's more left, it should try to go left. And it changes the color of the LED. I forget what it told me the colors meant, but one of them's left, one of them's right, and one of them's center.
Okay.
So you should be able to figure out what it's supposed to do from the color of the LED, which is fine, but it looks to me like we need to swap probably this number and that number. Let's see here.
And the one below it.
Target detected on the left, turn left, so we probably need this to be 1. And this to be 0. And this probably needs to be 1. And this probably needs to be 0. And
That's just full speed ahead.
that's full speed. That shouldn't matter.
So yellow is left, blue is right, green is straight.
Green is straight. And what was our? Oh, that makes sense. When it starts the serial monitor up, it deleted everything that was in the terminal.
Oh,
Yeah, that's kind of stupid, but I guess that's what it did. I bumped it up significantly in speed, so if it's going to go careening off the edge, grab it. I had this thing on the charger all night long too, so the battery should be good.
Oh, and batteries. Do you have any spares of those brown cells you got out of the bike?
I got the 4 that I took home that I haven't used. You want me to bring them?
I'd appreciate it if you don't have a use for them.
I do not currently have a use for them.
I ordered 2 of those little 6-cell UPS things.
Mm-hmm.
They put out 12 volts, 9 volts, and 5 volts, and you can use them for power while they're charging. Kind of neat. But they take 6 18650s.
That warning was asking me to install the UDIV rule, which I don't need because I'm an administrator and I'm part of the dial-up group.
Okay.
I'm actually kind of impressed. It actually works.
Well, my body is getting. Okay. All right. Look at the light here.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It sort of works.
Sees your arm.
Yeah, that's what's wrong.
It's yellow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So after being slightly frustrated with
So
what AI generated,
that's about 30 degrees. Okay.
I probably should slow it down just a bit. It's probably too fast.
Yeah, 55 would probably be about right.
Yeah.
Maybe 50.
I'm actually kind of impressed.
Yeah.
All right. I'm giving Google some crap about giving me poor code in the first place, but
Again, if you're an expert in the subject matter,
Okay. Yeah. I'm about 15 degrees off. I'm getting a green. Oh. I couldn't do it. I didn't move the robot, and my light changed. And I look up, and Steve is rolling his eyes.
But
Yeah,
remember,
could be seeing the laptop.
the laptops give off heat too, so. Damn near everything in this room's giving off some heat.
I'm not getting the change at all now.
I wonder, that sensor seems like it's got a halfway decent range on it too. But I wonder what the actual range of that sensor is.
Let's find out. I'll back it off.
probably better to turn it toward the wall instead of the laptop.
Good idea.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Aim it up 15 degrees and see if it'll follow you around the room.
Google actually,
Okay. Yeah, that's about it.
that's about it.
Turn a little more toward the wall. Nope. Hmm.
I got a flash there.
So, solid 6 feet.
6 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1.87 meters.
So Google said I could design you a mount that angles up at some degree, and I'm like, okay. That was before I printed this one.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even bother.
Well, I certainly would have made it as a thing that goes on the top instead of the edge. But
It made it flat, and I was like, well, what the hell am I supposed to do with flat? The only thing I could think of, it did not tell you where to actually mount it. It just said I can make you a mount. And I'm like, well, these holes sort of match up here. Maybe you want me to mount. Oh, and that's the other. If you really look at that, it's off center. So it's amazing that it's going left and right the right way anyway.
yeah.
Well, it may have a bias that we can't perceive because the tests that we're doing are another course.
Yes, well, I'm impressed though. After arguing with AI, it actually makes something that worked.
I wonder if the
More or
4
less.
holes would line up with something on the top surface so that it was pointed straight up.
See, that's what I was thinking that it was trying to do. But why? All right, I'm semi minorly impressed with that. It was a very frustrating deal, especially the first set of code that it gave me. That was just frustrating when we got caught in the loop of, well, here, this will fix it. It's the same thing. You just sent me the same code.
I would like to ask a question on a different subject entirely.
I would like to answer a question on a different subject entirely.
I took my sister an old Dell desktop to allow her a graphics card for her photographic collection. And the battery in it was weak and it has failed. And because it's failed, it didn't hold the boot drive that I had instructed it to use. Is there a default boot drive in order of the SATA connections?
I would assume SATA 0, but it sounds like the problem isn't the main battery, it's the CMOS battery.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I know how to fix it, except it's 625 miles away. But I'm thinking in terms of future, if I am going to put a boot drive in, I will make certain it's connected to.
It won't work. It's doing that. It's already at SATA 0 almost certainly. But the complaint that you're getting is, oh my gosh, the battery's dead.
Yeah.
Not, oh my gosh, we can't find the drive to boot from.
No, actually, she's getting an error which says.
I know, but the root cause is that it's complaining about the battery.
Yeah. The root cause is a weak battery. I was hoping that I could work around that in the future by saying the default.
But some machines that I have seen automatically will find whatever drive is in there,
Yeah.
even if the CMOS battery has died. Other machines will do exactly what yours is doing, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it except replace the batteries.
Well, it's finding all three drives in the machine,
Okay, so
but it's the solid state drive, it's the boot drive, it's saying that's the third choice.
Yeah.
well, that's interesting. Oh, yeah. That makes
And there's SATA?
No, one SATA, other two are spinners.
so it's
Was
it's defaulted.
But are they SATA spinners?
Oh, yeah,
Okay, so if it's all SATA, yeah, just swap cables around until it boots.
okay.
Yeah.
It won't hurt.
Okay.
No,
Oh, wait,
It's-
is it Windows?
yeah,
Yeah, it might
Well,
hurt things.
it doesn't even, it hadn't even gotten that far. This is about in the
Right,
BIOS.
but if Windows comes up and it says this is the D drive and this is the
It's-
E drive and this
it's-
is the C drive,
It's after 7. We're virtual next week. I'll see you next week.
See you next week. Have a good week.
Bye.
so long.